Hello, Internet. Before we get into today's episode, I just want to say a couple quick things. First of all, thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. Second, please be patient with today's episode. So we recorded this episode via Skype, via video chat, with 5 different people on 5 different Wi-Fi connections with 5 different cameras and have 5 different microphones, and everything's different, and it was highly unpredictable, impossible to control, and there are some spots here and there throughout the episode that are just a little hard to listen to. It's nobody's fault. It's just varying degrees of various technology across all different areas of the city, and yeah, it just... it is what it is. And then also with the fucking video chat thing, you had, four squares in the video recording thing. I wasn't aware that it was doing this. You'll see it when you watch it. But there's 5 people talking. So like there's always one person not in the frame, which is really weird. And it like records me, which I didn't want it to do. I just wanted it to record the guests. I'm new to like recording remotely, and I appreciate your patience. And please stick through this episode. For those of you that are just listening, if you're not watching this on Facebook or YouTube, you probably won't be as annoyed or as confused as anybody that is watching the video version of this. But either way, I appreciate your patience. I hope you stick it through. And whenever we're able to be together in the real world, when we're on the other side of this, I will definitely record a proper episode with today's guest, Murder for Girls. So with that being said, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Enjoy the episode. Thanks. Peace. Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sykes. My name is Sykes and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out the last episode. If you're one of those people, I hope you enjoyed the conversation and thanks so much for coming back. But for those of you out there who are new to the show, welcome. Feel free to make yourselves at home. And as always, there's beer and soda in the fridge. Digital cheers. Whoever has a drink. I know someone has a beer. Cheers. Yes. It's a lovely Saturday afternoon. In quarantine, I'm sitting here today with 4/4 of the rock and roll group, Murder for Girls. Make some noise for the internet, my friends. Everyone's really happy that you're here. I'm happy to see all of you. How is everybody doing? Let's start with Tammy.
Well, this is the first time I had to try to look presentable in a few weeks. I have pants on and everything. So
nice.
Yeah.
How you doing, Steph?
Oh, I'm doing good. Doing good. Got my wine. I'm happy to see you 3. All their smiling faces. It's been too long.
You look like you're in the Matrix.
Do I? So this is our new album cover that I put up on the background. Somehow I managed to do that.
I liked when you moved your hand, a dog appeared for like 1 second.
That's what Leia, she's joining me.
Whoa. That is really, really trippy.
That's awesome.
John, how you doing down there?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you, man. And Michelle, right?
Yep. Hi.
I don't think we've ever met officially, so it's nice to meet you this way, I suppose.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Super glad to have all of you here. So last night you just released your music video for The World is Full of Helpful Goth Girls. How was that, doing a digital video release?
Cool. It happened. I feel like I'm it's the first time we tried anything like that. First music video, right? So
Yeah, that is our first video.
I think we all made it. Figured it out. A lot of people seem to show up to it, so that's cool.
Yeah. We're going to have a big party.
Yeah, pretty planning, but
Yeah, we were.
But that was good too.
Yeah.
It's nice that we have all of these options now to stay as connected as we can, given the shitty circumstances that we're in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even
We hope there was a lot of people that, it gave them something to watch, to do during this time.
Yeah.
how has the band been functioning, if at all? When's the last time any of you saw each other?
Geez, the beginning, right?
March 3rd.
March
March
3rd. Our
March
last,
3rd
yeah,
was
What
the
was the
show
last? It was the show that we played, right?
yeah.
with Faya.
Was
Yeah.
that was the 9th, wasn't it?
Good way to send.
Early
If I
May.
They were
remember-
great.
March.
Wait, I got a flyer here somewhere.
Wait, you
I
guys,
think it was a Tuesday, and then I think that following weekend was the whole quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That Sunday night was the,
yeah, because we didn't.
stay home, work from home.
Yeah, it was the 9th. Okay.
Yeah, so I literally fit one show in, a few days before quarantine started.
Yeah, we
That
played a
was it.
show on it was the 11th or something. It was like really on the tail end of everything.
Yeah.
And it was strange. Even people at that show, the vibe in the air was really, 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 really bizarre. But hey, we're all here. We're all doing okay. We were supposed to play a show together,
Yeah.
which we are no longer doing, which is a bummer. But
Yeah.
with that being said, you still have a new album coming out.
Yes. I mean, we don't know when when we can play again. So might as well put it out. And then when we get that chance, then we can have a show, party, something.
Yeah, Tammy, can you tell me when the album's coming out? Give me some more details.
We're going to release it online on May 15th on Bandcamp. So it's actually there for digital pre-order right now. And there is one track that you can listen to right now. And then we have CDs ordered. Steph ordered the CDs. So at least we have those coming.
Yeah, we can mail it if
Yeah, we could do.
not wait again.
Super cool. So, Steph, I was talking with you a couple days ago about this, but we should probably share the info on this podcast as well. What can you tell me about the album? Like, where'd you record it? What's it called? Give me the juicy deets.
Tammy.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Tammy. Back to you. I was trying to give everybody equal time to talk, but apparently.
I'll say we went to Hudson, New York, and we recorded it with Tommy Stinson, which was a freaking amazing experience. He was a fucking incredible guy to work with. So I'm personally really excited about this. I think we put a lot of heart and soul into this one. Like Steph, when she came into the band, like this is a solid, just like Steph album. Whereas the past ones had like our older songs that we were just trying to kind of get out of the way, but this one's pretty fresh, so I'm excited about it.
That's true.
Super cool. So,
Yeah.
John, let's get some John time. John, why don't you give me a little background on the history of the band? Like, when did you start? How'd you get started?
As Michelle was just kind of saying, we have had different people involved in the past. I wanted to start a band. I had been in a band in the 90s, and I wanted to start a band in 2012, and met Michelle, met Tammy, put a band together towards the end of 2013. A couple people came and left. How long has it been? I always forget, and I always have to ask you.
What's that?
How long has it been since you've joined? Because I always forget.
I think it's 5 or going on 6 years. It's
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, I've been doing this that long.
I met them at I used to work at the Thunderbird Cafe in Lawrenceville back when it was the old Thunderbird. And I was there hanging out with my favorite bartender, Stin, one night, and they were playing a show. And I liked their their sound, and at the time they were just a 3-piece playing out, so they had lost the 4th member. So I talked to them after and asked if they would be interested in jamming, and they were. So I found them. We found each other.
I will say, there's nothing better than making friends as an old ass adult because it's so hard to do.
Right?
That's true.
That's true.
It's super duper rare, but I think that's one of the cool things about playing in a band is that it still gives us a good, healthy reason to get out into the world and meet new people, whether they end up in our band or not, or just other bands to play with. It's a cool, healthy outlet for socializing.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lucky coincidence that we met Steph there, because I think in the past most of my trying to start a band or something's been, like Craigslist or trying to find somebody that way, but we just happened to be playing and she was there.
Yeah, I think you're not a real band if you haven't had a Craigslist experience.
Yeah.
At least in one phase of your band. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I would have saved some of those email interactions, actually. But
Yeah, actually, Tammy and I exchanged emails earlier on before we had even met. I think that was back in 2012. And it's a true story that someone had replied to the ad literally the day before her. So I wound up working with a woman named Allison for a while. And had Allison not contacted me, I probably would have started working with Tammy at that point. But it was still like a year and a half before I met Tammy. It was just a matter of seriously less than 24 hours that I heard from Allison before. And I think Tammy, we saw each other at the shop one time or something, and we were talking. And yeah, but yeah, that was
my other band played there, and you were there.
Yeah, that's right. And but yeah, that was a Craigslist attempted meetup, foiled meetup there originally. Yeah.
And then we should tell Michelle's story of how you found Michelle.
Yeah, I was consciously at that point in 2012 trying to put together a diverse lineup. Like that was something I was doing on purpose. So I wanted to incorporate women into the act and hopefully get a more diverse lineup in terms of the ethnicity as well. And I just had gotten tired at that point of looking at Craigslist and having the experiences we've all had. And then, I actually was on YouTube and I typed in female drummer Pittsburgh, and Michelle was the first video to come up. And so I actually met her through YouTube.
Thanks to her mom.
What's that? Thanks to her mom. Her mom had posted videos.
Mom.
Her mom's her publicist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the title of the video literally was best female drummer in Pittsburgh.
That's so funny. So
dog interference.
There's pups everywhere.
Yeah, I have too. You should just go into YouTube and search for that female drummer. She's probably got about 20,000 hits or something right now. I can't remember.
Oh, my mom. Over and over.
So
it's funny when
Michelle,
she does record us, she kind of zooms into Michelle and just.
So, Michelle, what can you tell me about your background as a drummer pre-Murder for Girls? Were you playing in any other bands, or was it really just uploading some stuff online and just kind of playing with, I don't know, like what was your experience?
Well, I mean, I had been in a band before called Blindsider, so probably there's some videos out there as well. I don't know what video they're referring to, but so that's probably how they found me, was because of Blindsider. But yeah, John just contacted me one day, and I was getting ready to sell my drums. Actually, it had been a couple of years since I was playing, and I was just gonna sell my drums. But the sad part is, I took them to Guitar Center, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you like $100." So I was like, "Oh, forget that," you know.
Yeah.
They have sentimental value than anything else. So I'm glad I kept them, because it was like days later that John sent me a message like, "Hey, would you be willing to meet up and talk?" And so that was, I'm glad I did that. Like you said, it's hard to make friends, if you play with these people. And I can't believe it's been like 6 years. Like, I love these guys.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah, time flies. It's funny thinking about we're recording our new album right now, and the first album that we put out together, I mean, we recorded it in 2014, so that was 6 years ago. And I was like, what? It doesn't, but it just seems like, I guess it's the older that we get, the shorter time feels. If you would have told me, 6 years ago that it would take me 2 years to record an album, I'd be like, you're out of your damn mind. But now I'm like, of course it does. My back hurts. Everything takes time.
yeah.
Like, I just work in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there is that.
Michelle, like, your boobs look huge.
They're not.
Pendulous. Remember? Pendulous.
I can't see, so yeah.
Steph, what was your background with playing in bands prior to Murder for Girls?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. My dad's a jazz pianist, so I've been playing instruments since I was 8 years old. He taught me, and then I went to Duquesne University. Was classically trained in piano,
Oh, wow.
piano performance major, and I didn't like that you had to practice 3 hours a day and whatnot. And prior to that, growing up, I had a group of friends that was super musically active, really creative. We did a lot of garage shows at each other's houses, kind of a bored suburban kids, like, getting together, trying to make art and music. So I played in a band called the Zits of America back then. We did a show at Club Laga with Grand Buffet, I think, when I was.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, and I've worked with other projects and kind of solo projects with people. But, yeah, but I was a pilot for the last 15 years, actually. So my schedule being out of town all the time didn't allow me to be in a band for a long, long time. I was on call and not in Pittsburgh. I couldn't plan it for shows and things like that. I wasn't reliable that way. So when I was flying, I got a career, I was senior enough to hold a schedule and predict or be able to bid off those. I was able to be in a band again. My schedule did it. So that happened to be around the time serendipity. I saw these kids and I made that.
Yeah, it was a little rough there in the beginning because my job was the job I had. I was working at 3 a.m. So it would be like, when are we practicing this week? Well, I'm out of town on my job and I work that. And it'd be like, okay, so next week. And then, yeah. And then I think we have a pretty good availability now.
Yeah.
When we can't, but.
Yeah, I felt like, I don't know if I really had my shit together as much as I thought I did, but I felt like I was finally in a really good groove and a good balance with all of my responsibilities in life. And now I just got turned upside down.
Yeah.
I know. I thought, the dyed hair. It's like a lot of the clothes I wear on stage I've had since my teenage years, like those big boots I wear and stuff I got when I was like 15 years old. The God side at Laga, I know we were talking about that the other night.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, oh, this is cool. Like, I saved them for a reason, I guess. wouldn't have it any other way. It's fun. It's great. I'm so glad my life turned out this way.
Yeah.
The luxury.
Drink to that, Steph.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'm gonna go iced tea here. So.
You're allowed.
I know.
So, with your background, I'm assuming everybody's from Pittsburgh. There's no transplants here.
Yeah.
Yep, we're all Yinzers.
So, this is a bit of a complicated question right now because who the fuck knows where things are going to be. But let's just assume things get back to normal in a couple of months, okay? With that being said, what do you see the future of the Pittsburgh music scene being like? We'll start with John. I'll throw this in your lap. The future of the Pittsburgh music scene being like, given all of the changes that were just already starting to happen prior to this lockdown. I mean, Howlers just finally is closed now, and
Right.
there's a lot of, I'm sure there's going to be some other things that are happening. What are you sort of predicting is going to go on?
Yeah, I'm afraid that we might lose a few more venues over the next couple months. People just not being able to stay open, not having the same type of money flowing in. That maybe there'll be some additional venues that aren't around in say 3 or 4 months. That might happen. I've said before, personally, I don't even like the word scene, but I guess that's the best word to use. But truthfully, I don't know if we're all going to be out playing. I think what's going to happen, quite honestly, is in June and July, things are going to clear up and people will be able to play again, and there'll be a feeling of optimism, that kind of thing. But I do think we might be on a second lockdown later on in the year, quite honestly. But once we get beyond that, I think next year things will be better. Like I said, we'll lose a couple of venues maybe. But in a year's time, I think it'll be back to the way it was.
Anybody else have any thoughts on this situation?
I think people are going to get better at that kind of thing and technology and using that to the advantage, I don't know. Like doing the, everyone in their own house, but doing a jam session, maybe stream it, kind of treat it like a show. Hopefully, that'd be good. That'd be cool if this kind of drives that kind of technology to the forefront. We have it. We just, none of us, we'd all prefer to be together. Obviously, nothing beats the live experience, but
yeah,
another option is, giving me an excuse to get better at and think about, I decided to upgrade my computer and stuff and start learning new programs and stuff, trying to keep it going so I don't get.
And if you think about it, there are bands that are, with members with people in different countries, and they're able to meet up digitally and record and share recording kind of thing. So there are ways to still hook up and make music, even if you can't be in the same room.
Totally.
I really have no idea when this is going to end. I don't know if I'm banking on summer.
Yeah,
Because everything's getting rescheduled to next year. I don't know.
Maybe some outdoor concert.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Just stay 6 feet away from everybody, and but I really don't know when this is going to change. I don't know, and hopefully we don't lose too much in the meantime. I think that everybody's going to have a lot of new material, maybe if
Yeah.
we're being able to play and things like that. I hope that people don't take for granted getting to go to a show,
Yeah.
How many times have you clicked interested on something and then been like, I don't know, I feel like going out tonight, and no, that might be a little different in the future.
Someone pointed out to me last night for a video thing that 220 people or something clicked going and 213 showed up. We're actually watched it on time. So that blew me away because usually it's like 5% of the goings actually show.
Yeah.
Really low, but yeah.
I'm not sure what they're going to do. I think that the really big national concerts obviously are probably not going to be, I don't know if they would have smaller, I don't know if there's going to be more attendance. I don't know.
I can't wait to get out of the house. So,
talking about like go on tour.
I cannot wait.
Are we going to need like matching face masks for the band? I don't know.
I think that one bad thing is, there's not going to be many new bands that you'll be seeing because people just can't get together to jam or hang out, So maybe unless they connect online somehow and do remote stuff from the start, it's going to be harder to make those connections without shows to make those connections at. So, which is a shame, but,
Might be a lot more solo albums.
Well, and even established bands, the most of the money they make is on tour and merch and stuff normally, right? So, hopefully we don't lose any of the, classic long-running touring acts either. We'll see.
Yeah, it's very. We're in uncharted territory right now, all of us.
Yeah.
The one question I was curious to ask, though, I always like asking this to people that have been a part of the Pittsburgh music community. I'll avoid using the word scene, John. The Pittsburgh music community.
That's good. Yeah.
People that have been involved in that, for a decade plus in one way or another. I'm always curious when I'm talking to them about how they feel the community has changed or grown over the past decade, or do they feel it's gotten better? They feel it's gotten worse? I know it's kind of complicated now because we don't know what our future is, but let's just assume we were having this conversation last month. How would we answer this question?
Pittsburgh's always weird with the community. I mean, I don't know. You guys have been around actually longer than me, or I had a long hiatus from it. So, like John and Tammy.
I personally feel like I fit in more with community that Murder for Girls plays with, as like in comparison to like Blindsider days. I think the people that we play with I think it's a great freaking community of people and bands that we play with.
Yeah, I think sometimes Pittsburgh as a whole kind of gets a bad rep for not being the best music community or scene, but I think so much of it just has to do with the environment that you put yourself in and the people you choose to be around and the bands that you decide to play with. I think that if you can find some bands that are cool to hang out with, you'll have a good time.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah, bands supporting each other. Bands are great about supporting each other, I feel, in the city, but it's almost like the city hasn't always supported the local acts. We've had a bad batch of promoters in some cases and things like that have maybe...
they don't even put the local shows in the city paper anymore.
Yeah, like that.
I think it's funny when there's touring bands, that hit you up to, oh, we're going to be passing through. You guys want to play Tuesday night, and they don't. I mean, I think Pittsburgh, compared to a lot of other places, any other night of the week, other cities have a decent attendance or a more, I guess, thriving music scene any night of the week. And here it's kind of like, well, we could get you a show on Tuesday, but I don't know if anybody's going to come out because they're all kind of, got to work in the morning and whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So,
yeah. I'm sorry, what were we going to say, John?
I was just going to say, compared to playing in the 90s, for instance, it is harder to get people out of the house just because people have opportunities for entertainment at home, which has proven to be very helpful, I'm sure, given the current circumstances. But, say if you're playing a gig in 1991, Most people then didn't have internet. There was no Netflix. There was no YouTube. People were still playing very primitive home video game systems at the point. So people went out more.
Yeah.
They didn't have so many opportunities for entertainment, behind, their four walls at home. They actually had to go out to shows more often, or movies or something outdoors, rather than just watching obscure videos online or sharing cat videos or whatever people might be doing right now.
It feels a little hypocritical of me to make a statement like the one I'm about to make on a podcast, but I do feel that we have way too much socialization now. Like, we're just way too connected. It's like 24/7. You constantly have something going off in your pocket. Like, oh, John did this. Steph said that. Michelle did this. Tammy did that. And it's like, do we really need to know? Like, maybe sometimes by the end of the day, you've had your fucking phone computer going off all day. You've been at work and you get home and you're just like, I just want to be left alone. Like, I don't want to know what anybody's doing for at least 4 hours. And then you go to sleep.
Right.
Does anybody else feel that? Like, it's too much.
No, I do feel that. Yeah.
Nobody calls each other anymore. It's almost like we already know everyone we know is doing because we're on, Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So what do we talk about? Like, there's nothing you don't know about.
Like, I remember in high school, there was no social media when I was in high school. And it was like, if I want to see anybody after school, it's like, well, I better go to the mall and see who I run into. That was like, that was how I grew up.
Us too, the arcade at Ross Park. That's where we hung out.
I was a Monroeville Mall guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Representing.
Yeah, I sometimes, for instance, my local mall is the Beaver Valley Mall. And you go there, well, you don't go there now, of course, but under normal circumstances, you go there, you might walk the entire length of the mall without seeing another human being.
Sure.
Whereas, if you went there on a Saturday night in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, it would be thick with people. So it would be a much more social situation in terms of actual human beings, as opposed to text messages or icons and so on, avatars.
I find that it's just, with having shows, you need to really give people a good reason to come out. And unfortunately, it takes a lot of letting go of the ego and understanding that, like, even if your band's having a show, even your best friends, realistically, you're probably 25% of why they're going out of the house that night. So it's like keeping into mind, like, okay, like, where is this show? Oh, it's in the South Side. So I already know this group of friends never want to fucking go to the South Side. So I'm not even going to bother wasting my time talking to them. Let me talk to my friends over here. And then, like, there's things with Greywalker, for example. We've never played Gooskies. Mainly because we don't know anybody that lives on that side of town. Nobody would show up. We have a hard enough time. We had a hard enough time playing Howlers just because, like, all of our friends were like, they're either like they're more on the south side of things, or we could play like somewhere weird, like out at the Fallout shelter, and we'll have a lot of friends that show up. But, like, the east side of Pittsburgh, just not our thing. I don't know why.
People don't want to cross those bridges and everything, I guess. Maybe they'll be more likely to now. I don't know. I mean, once it's just, you can actually go out again.
Yeah, I'm really
for adventure.
Yeah, I'm super duper curious to see how people start interacting when it comes to leaving the house and going to events, and how much people care. Or are people only going to really be into it for a week or two, and then all of a sudden people will forget that we ever had a problem?
Right.
Yeah.
I find that's...
I'm hug everybody.
I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I have no idea.
It's uncharted territory. For sure.
I mean, I it's so silly for us to talking about, like, I hope people come out again when we already had a hard enough time getting people to come out in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, like, hopefully I was like, oh, we can have 20 people in a room. Cool. It's normal. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, this is just an unfortunate time that we just had this recording to put out and everything. And so I don't know. Maybe people will listen to it because I don't know, looking for something to do, but we don't want to hold it.
Yeah.
We don't know what it's gonna be.
Being optimistic, waiting, but it gets to the point after that first few weeks and seeing this could be really prolonged. It's like, how long do you wait? And have it, let's get it out there, and we can always have a party later.
I personally don't think there's any reason to wait. I think that because the way that when you're releasing things online, I've always felt that it was separate from the real world, regardless of a lockdown or not. Because there's people that really pay attention to stuff online. There's people that pay attention to stuff in the real world. And in my experience, my bands can play shows and they don't even know. People will come to the shows and be like, oh, you put out a new album? And I'm like, yeah, we've been posting about it for the past 3 months.
Sure.
And then the people online that are listening to the album will be like, the new album sounds really cool. When are you playing a show? It's like, we just played 4 shows.
Yeah.
There a lot of people just aren't paying attention. So I find that, like, if you have an album and you're stoked on it, just put it out online, because people are paying attention the same as they would at any other given time. There might be some more eyeballs now, but for the most part, I think people that would be paying attention to it already are. And people that aren't internet people are doing weird things around the house. They're starting gardens and changing light bulbs and replacing drywall, and I don't know. That's oddly specific to people that I know, but that's just stuff that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And isn't it true? We've all had the experience of having a friend who always says, every time, I'll see you next time. I'll be there next time.
Sure.
And then number one, that's a pretty sure sign, number one, that you'll never see that person again. And then number two, you can't see me next time, because who knows when there's going to be a next time. So all those people who always said that, if you're watching, who the hell knows when that's going to be? Maybe you should have been there.
Lost your chance.
Lost your chance, right.
Yeah.
I do think that one thing that we could probably do once the social distancing lets up a bit, even if we aren't able to facilitate, having more than 15 people in a room or something like that, but people can get together and start practicing. I think you might see some people streaming more like live performances, and maybe venues will actually let them do it where, Spirit, that's a place that'll probably open again. Like, Murder for Girls at Spirit, or Cativo. How about that? Murder for Girls at Cativo. We're doing this live stream, and then, donations can go to the thing. I don't know. I'm sure you might see some more stuff like that. I have no idea. Everybody's trying to make it work right now. It's hard to keep up.
The hard thing right now is the unknowns, and just there's so little information about any of.
I'll be back.
Right now that it's so hard to predict, not having like how it's going to play out, and how to when we do plan the next show, how do we do that responsibly, like considering how things leave and transmits, and how to protect people, and what's safe, what isn't.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have places that don't give a fuck. You're going to have people that don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sure there's going to be guidelines, but do you think the rock room's going to be following them?
Yeah, I know, and that's why it's like,
So,
I don't know.
I didn't mean to throw the rock room under the bus, but let's be real. I'm just, but I think there will.
Not using that bathroom, then it's gonna be like.
I think that it's
healthy and coming to shows, so we don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think our practice space is big enough for social distancing either.
Yeah,
I thought we'd have to be in a corner.
We might be able to do something with that, Jason's room. But
Yeah, I need a bigger room, but our poor practice space. That little refrigerator's probably all mildewing itself.
Oh yeah.
Should have plugged it.
Oops.
There's probably so many like beer cans, moldy, all just.
it's probably
You know what? I'll go down there.
We have that garbage in there. Oh.
You know what? I'll go down. Seriously, I'll go down there tomorrow. I'm worried about that now. I might go down there now. You can do a live feed.
That'd be fun.
In there. Ooh.
Like, eating my candy, like
Oh.
maybe not.
So, aside from the music, we all are, we've all been spending a lot of time at home. Is there anything not music related that anyone has taken the time to maybe do that's been fun or productive over the past few weeks? Tammy, let's start with you. Have you done anything cool?
Yeah, I watched the whole Tiger King series.
Okay.
No, I don't. Have I? I've been trying to write a little bit, I can't really say I've picked up a new skill or anything.
You're still working though.
Yeah, I'm still working. I mean,
Okay.
It's not, my life didn't change in that aspect. I'm kind of wishing away I wasn't working and had all that extra spare time, but, then there's a trade-off of,
Don't take your stability for granted.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, it's not changed a whole lot for me, I don't think. I mean,
What about you, Michelle? Been up to anything fun?
That's not music related.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been doing some yard work, so that's nice to get outside time. Riding my bike, taking runs. I'm working too from home, so I've got 8 to 5 every day doing that. So, which is nice. I feel fortunate to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Aside from that, I'm just trying to keep up my chops, for when we get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
are you running with a mask on?
No.
Neither mind.
Did they cancel marathons yet?
Sure, I saw some discussion about that, but it's hard not to breathe for running. I don't need to put a mask on, too.
Well, you're not running around people, right? You're just
Not really. Yeah, that's what I guess maybe if, you were running in a congested area.
There's nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally take the wearing the mask in an appropriate situation seriously, but I do think there's some kind of like overkill. I kind of got on my girlfriend just a little bit the other day because she picked me up and I got in the car and she was wearing a mask in the car and I was like, why are you wearing a mask in your car? She was like, I just kind of put it on. I was like, just take it off. This is a little much, but whatever.
God bless her.
I don't want to step on anyone's comfort levels, but it's just like, geez.
I know. I saw a meme the other day that said, if you're still wearing your mask when you're alone in your car, then just don't ever come out of one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was probably more of a thing where, like, you put it on, you get used to having it on, and you don't really think about taking it off.
Right.
But it's just like, I don't know. It's interesting having we went to Target and they have the whole sign out like you can't go in there unless you have most places now you have to have a face mask on to go into, which I mean it's not hurting. It's interesting. It's different.
It's funny. I was in Japan like maybe 5 years ago, and it was at the time that everyone there was wearing masks, and I guess it started out for a similar I don't know, pandemic or bad flu they had. But then it became a fashion statement. And I read this cool article talking about how, well, not only a fashion statement, people wear them because they don't want to do the makeup, or also it's a way to be antisocial. So everyone there wore a mask. You could get them out of little vending machines all over, all over Japan. So I wonder if that's going to become trendy here. But it's like
guys need more fashionable masks.
and everyone's wearing masks. Like, you know,
I know a few people, they could just keep their masks on and stay to themselves.
yeah. I know.
The band Korn is selling corn face masks. If anybody needs a corn face mask,
All right.
if you're feeling like a freak on a leash, you can get a corn face mask.
Good to know.
I
on
literally, it's a story. I won't tell you the whole thing, but I wound up. Korn played the Civic Arena one year with Dead Sea, which is Shared Sons band, back in probably the early 2000s.
Yeah.
They came to Pittsburgh. I happened to meet one of the guys that built their stage while I was out at my friend's birthday party, and he gave me passes to go to the show. And we ended up partying with the band and going on Field U's tour bus, where he proceeded to play his MTV Cribs video on repeat.
Oh,
It was pretty cool.
God. Oh, what a turd.
And it went through because it got a little weird after.
Yeah. Ugh.
Third. I was there with a pair of identical twins. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
We had to get out of there. So.
John, what have you been doing in your free time? If you have any.
Well, I'm working too.
Okay.
I've been working from home since I guess it was March 20th was the last day I was in the office. So I'm still working, but for me it saves a lot of time because I don't have to commute, obviously. So I have more time on my hands. I don't have to go to bed as early. What's going on? Oh, hello.
Hello.
We have a special guest.
This is Stin.
Hi, Stinny.
Yes. She's who I was visiting when I met this band. So.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Started.
But I am actually writing more. I am actually playing more on my own than usual, just because I have a little bit more time on my hands. So, but beyond that, I am reading more. I guess that's about it. I did watch Walking Dead season 9, which I didn't think was too bad because I'd kind of abandoned that show a while ago.
Okay.
I thought season 9 was all right. So I'm looking for something else to watch at this point, I guess. Yeah, that's about it.
Super cool. And Steph, what have you been doing? Anything?
A
A lot of podcasts.
A lot of podcasts lately. No, I was working on this album cover for this album coming up this past week. And prior to that, weather permitting, I've been basically becoming a farmer. I have like 3 properties lined up on the north side of a hill, and been excavating the backyard, planting things. I don't know. I think I get into a gardening mode when I get nervous about things, I think, or I have to do physical labor. So
Sure.
now fixing up some of the properties around. Not much has changed job like lately. That's what I've been doing. But most of that's watching some Netflix. I've watched The Office again for like the 8th time, I think, and just started rewatching Lost this week, just because.
You're watching Lost?
Again, yeah. I saw it back in the
What season are you on now?
I'm on season 3,
Okay.
where they're in the polar bear cages captured by the yeah.
I really, really loved the first 2 seasons of that show. They were really well done, I thought.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
I agree.
yeah.
I agree.
Benjamin Lyon.
I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale, which is really fucking with me.
Yes,
That's you.
I do. I mean, I guess it's completely unrelated because that, they didn't have a pandemic in that show. But sometimes the very few times I went to the grocery store, especially the last time, I felt like I was in A Handmaid's Tale, like I was going out for the,
Yeah.
I don't know. Especially when there's hardly anything on the shelves, and they went to those little stores with
Yeah.
it kind of feels like The Mask is like the whole hand raised hat and dress.
Very
Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, there's a bit of going back to what Steph said about the masks in Japan and the antisocial thing. That's been one kind of nice thing when I've been at the store. I kind of like this, like, yeah, don't fucking talk to me sort of vibe that I get to give off and have a good excuse to. Not that I'm not an antisocial person by any means, but most of the time if I'm at the store, I kind of just want people to get out of my way so I can get my broccoli and leave. You know, I'm not trying to hang out. For some reason, anytime I go to the store, I need broccoli and command strips. Those are like the two things. It doesn't matter. I could go every week, and I always somehow need those things. Favorite vegetables, Tammy. What's your favorite vegetable?
My favorite vegetable.
Yeah.
Oh. God. I don't know. I like broccoli. Yeah, I'm gonna go with broccoli.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Michelle, favorite vegetable?
It's a toss up between green beans and potatoes.
Oh, potatoes do a lot.
John.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with I like mushrooms.
Okay.
Different. Yeah.
All right.
Useful.
That's Andy or Angie. Sounds like a fun guy to me.
Oh,
Steph, it's all hanging on you here. What's your?
Like I said, berries, beets, that'll start cooking.
Yeah. What's your favorite veggie?
Beets. I love beets.
Beets. Okay.
Ooh.
Beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Beef on salad.
Love beets.
You
Like
beef salad is
between the four of you, you almost had like a really good breakfast omelet side of potatoes thing going on, but Steph really fucked it up with the beets. So I don't know where those belong, but now you have lunch at least. You can have
I made a beet omelet before.
really.
Yeah, it was very purple. Yeah, it was good.
I have never in my life thought of putting those things together.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
that sounds
Can
good.
I say that I cook broccoli with my pierogies?
Sure.
I highly recommend it.
Why not? There's butter, onions.
I just
Yeah.
had
Cheese on them.
Yeah. Ranch dressing.
No, you gotta do the broccoli and the pierogies with butter and then douse it with hot sauce and then a lot of sour cream.
Oh yeah.
I just
I'm
did,
trying to gain the COVID-19 over here. Just saying it.
I just did peanut butter on a burger for the first time.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
It's good. It's surprisingly good.
Or because it sounded like fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Is it?
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
peanut. Yeah, cause my Stacy had convinced me to have a peanut butter and pickle sandwich because like that was like she's a wacky person with flavor, but it's really good. Those flavors work really, really well together. It's surprising.
I'll have to try that.
So it does work on a burger. I could tell you that. It's not as strange as you think it would be. But also, if you want to stick with your ketchup and mayo and mustard, the norm stuff, that's fine too. I'm just saying, don't. While we're all at the house, why not just put peanut butter on something, see what it tastes like?
Yeah,
Experiment a bit.
it works. I put it on pasta. If you mix pasta with mix in some peanut butter and some soy sauce and a little bit of water, it's good. Peanut noodles.
Yeah.
Oh, peanut noodles. Okay, yeah, I can get down with that.
Very low tech peanut noodles.
Yeah.
right there.
So yeah, I mean, if you're into peanut noodles, then you already kind of have an idea of the savoriness that you can kind of get from a peanut butter. So apply that to a burger. It works.
Not.
I'll not until you try it.
Yeah.
Recently. Like
I'm sorry,
the
Steph?
Didn't somebody have a donut burger recently, like KFC, or was it a donut chicken sandwich or something?
That sounds.
Yeah, they did like a burger something with a Krispy Kreme bun. KFC.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might have been amazing. I don't know.
That sounds good. Something I did one time, and this is true. I had a veggie burger, and I was going to make my veggie burger, and I realized I didn't have any type of bread, so I used waffles. I used waffles. And it worked. It worked. It was all right.
Yeah, I can see that working. Why not?
Yeah.
John, you're not even a stoner, John.
I'm not a stoner though.
That does sound like a stoner meal.
I'll stoners at my door pretty soon. Dude, are you the guy with the waffles and the peanut butter? Right, it's me, man.
That's so funny. So as we approach our hour here, before we wrap things up, one more time, Steph, can you tell us when the album's going to be out and where people can find it?
The album is released digitally, and we by then, May 15th, coming up, a little more than 2 weeks. And you can go to murderforgirls.com, murderforgirls.bandcamp.com, and pre-order through either our website or Bandcamp. And you can just download the digital version. You can pre-order the digital version. You'll automatically get it on the 15th, or we will mail you out the CD on the 15th. And also, if you go to our store page on our website, we have all our merch up there. It links to a store page that you can buy stuff if you happen to want a T-shirt. And also,
You have the merch? You have the merch, right?
Have the merch. And I also have up on that store page, there's a vinyl pre-order. We're thinking of pressing vinyl, depending on what eventually we get to that. So if you might be interested in a vinyl version of this album, then check it out. Email us. Let us know if you're into it. We're going to talk more about all that soon. But May 15th is the big day if you want to listen to it, download it, order the CD.
Cool. And the music video is out right now. Is that on the YouTubes and the Facebooks, the interwebs?
Yep, it's all over the interwebs.
It's all over the interwebs.
I crack up watching it.
It's always fun doing your first music video, like with a group of people. It's always, it's fun to watch it. It's fun to have it.
Yeah, it was fun making it. I think it turned out great. It's I think it's good too that it's kind of lighthearted and during this time. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
John, didn't the song start in one of our practices because Michelle, didn't you make a joke to John? Because we were talking about the world is full of helpful goth girls.
Yeah.
The song is basically, for John.
Yeah, actually what happened, and I'm not going to name her because I don't know if she necessarily would be comfortable, But anyway, there was a particular goth girl I'm Facebook friends with, and I had posted a message saying, hey, I'm going to go hang some flyers because I still like to hang flyers, the old school way. And she says, oh, you know what? I have a list, and I'll send you this list. And she sends me this hugely complicated spreadsheet of where to go and where to put them and when's the best time to hang the flyer. And I said, you know what? And that's where the title came from. Somebody, Michelle said something like, wow, she's really helpful. And I'm like, well, the world is full of helpful goth. And they just appear. They just appear magically. In her case, she had a very useful spreadsheet with important information.
Yeah.
And there you go. So
it's a great story.
We could have put that in the video, actually. We'll have to do that in the director's cut, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a great story. I didn't see it in the video, but I don't know how visual it is. I don't know if you want to get spreadsheets out and about. Although it would be funny to have a goth girl with a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
Yes. She can make a training video of where to hang flyers and that kind of thing. That's good. Yeah. I would be into that.
No, I shouldn't bring it up, but he'll get mad. But remember when Manny got caught by the news, getting busted by flyers in school? Just cut it in somewhere.
That's a good video. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, with all that being said, we've made our hour. It's been really fun seeing everybody, chatting for a bit. Sorry that we couldn't do it in person, but we'll see each other soon, and we'll do this again for real.
Hope so.
Without the lag of the internet, but hopefully the dogs can still come. That would be fun.
Yeah. That would be nice.
I think if anyone watching is watching the drinking game, the Murder for Girls episode, where every time you see one of our dogs, like
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that'd be fun.
yeah,
Put a little doggy counter in the corner.
Yeah,
So every time
There's
there we go. Wow, there's a 2 for 1.
You.
I got two. Don't we could have like a bonus shot if you see a cat. Isn't there some cats?
there are cats.
Yeah. I don't have any cats, but
I have no pets. I have nothing to contribute.
we're a band full of dogs, and yeah, we got a lot of.
Or they- like,
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, gonna wrap this up, do my outro, and that'll be it.
Thanks for having us.
And that is all, folks. Thanks so much for listening. One more time, Murder for Girls. Thanks for being here. I'll be back again in a couple days with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Sykes. Start the beat 2020. Woo, woo. Thanks for listening. And goodbye, world. Goodbye, friends. Have a good Saturday.
you too.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.